It was just past midnight when the knock came. 3 quick, desperate taps. They didn't echo. They just sank into the wood like they didn't want to be heard. I didn't check who it was. I didn't need to. Somehow I already knew. I opened the door like I'd been waiting years for this moment. And there she stood, hair tangled, face pale, gripping a small boy by the wrist like he might vanish if she let go. Her eyes darted behind her as though the night itself was hunting her. "Please," she whispered. I stepped aside. "Come in." She hurried past me, dragging the child along, as if the threshold marked safety. The boy stumbled in behind her, silent, wide-eyed. I closed the door. She locked it herself, just a deadbolt, but the sound of it echoed louder than anything else. Her hand lingered there, shaking. She didn't turn around. I could have asked what was going on, but I didn't, because deep inside me, somewhere cold and quiet, I already understood. Her name was Elise. She used to say I kept her grounded. I hadn't known that meant she planned to drag me down with her. 9 years ago, I came home early. She hadn't heard me enter, hadn't heard my bag drop behind the couch, or my footsteps stop dead in the hallway. I stood there, watching her silhouette moving with someone who wasn't me. I said nothing, left the key on the counter, walked out. People think silence is weakness. They're wrong. Silence is precision. Silence cuts where shouting can't. She called once. I didn't pick up. After that, I disappeared. New city, new number, new life. Now, nearly a decade later, she showed up with a boy who looked too much like a shadow of the man I used to be. I didn't say a word that first night, just showed them to the spare room. Stayed up, watching through the thin crack in the door. The boy, maybe 6 or 7, was silent in a way that wasn't normal. His eyes scanned everything like he was searching for exits. He flinched at loud sounds. At least she was worse, always peering through the curtains, whispering to herself when she thought I couldn't hear. I didn't let on. Made breakfast. Played the part. But I watched. I waited. And I investigated. I made one quiet call to an old contact, someone who owed me a favor. Fast-tracked a DNA test. I collected a sample from the boy's toothbrush when they were out. Let it dry. Sealed it up like evidence. 3 days later, the results came in. Not mine. Of course he wasn't. But what caught my eye was a name listed in the report, deep in the metadata from the full DNA panel. Christopher Vale. I knew that name. He stood next to me at the altar. Best man. Smiled through every vow. That night, I made her tea. Chamomile. She always liked that. I set it in front of her like an offering. "Thank you," she said, voice brittle. I sat down, slid the paper across the table between us. No yelling, just truth. She looked at it, blinked, once, twice. Then her hands began to shake. She bit her lower lip, so hard it split. "I didn't know what to do," she whispered. "Now we both don't." She reached for me, some reflex she hadn't unlearned. I didn't move. "Chris," it wasn't supposed to happen. He was just an escape plan, I said. A fallback. And I was the silence that made it all possible. She stopped. Her face collapsed under the weight of years spent pretending. "I left him," she muttered. "He found out. I had nowhere else to go. That part doesn't matter anymore." I stood, walked to the closet, and pulled out the duffel bag I'd packed 2 days earlier. Before the results, before the tea. I slid it across the hardwood floor. She stared at it. "What's this?" "Your next move." "You thought." "You were wrong." Her lip trembled. "No one else would help me." "You didn't come here for help." I leaned closer, just enough to see what lived behind her eyes. "You came here for forgiveness." A long pause. "And I'm not the one who gives it." The boy was standing in the hallway, clutching the doorframe like it was the only solid thing in his life. I looked at him. "I'll drive you both somewhere safe." "A shelter." She nodded, her voice nearly gone. "You do that." I nodded once. "Not for you." They left before the sun came up. I watched from the doorway, but didn't step outside. When they were gone, the house felt different. Lighter. Empty in a way that made space instead of sorrow. No more ghosts. Just silence. I sat in the chair where she'd sat. Felt the last bit of her warmth vanish from the cushion. I didn't miss her. Didn't even hate her. She was just a page I'd never read again. Some stories don't end with a bang. They just go quiet. And some people don't destroy you with lies. They simply wait until you hand them the knife. Then they thank you as they press it in.